Hey, what a beautiful day. It's BJ here. This is the most important video or the most important message, and the one message I would like to spread around this world, and that is that we are not our bodies. We are not human even. This is a human experience. Now, the out-of-body experience used to be known as strictly as astral projection, and it was considered occult, which means hidden. And it still is occult to this day by the mainstream. And to me, this is a major solution to this world. If everyone started going out of body and realizing that this is an experience, we're not human, this world would get healed drastically overnight. People will start to understand energy, karma, everything much better, and will understand this is just an experience that will not be as selfish. And there's just a whole bunch to it. So Robert Monroe was the first to coin the out-of-body experience. Like I said, it was known before then as astral projection. He started going out of body in his 60s. I highly suggest you check out all of his work that you can find. He's written several books. He has now left this energy system. He's no longer here. But he is my favorite out-of-body explorer. He looks at it from a straight logical point of view. So I highly recommend you check him out. He founded the Monroe Institute, and he also founded and created HemiSync, or what we now call binaural beats, which is a technology used to help people reach the out-of-body experience. William Buhlman is also, he does seminars at the Monroe Institute, and I highly recommend you check out his work as well. If you're not familiar or you like to learn about going out of body, I'm not going to, this isn't going to be just about teaching you how. There's several methods and ways to go out of body. This guy, Rich, 2150X, he's been talking about out of body for a long time. He is awesome. He's got a shit ton of videos though, so you have to kind of go through, pick the titles of stuff you want to hear. There's another guy, Robert Bruce, Astral Dynamics. Now, this guy definitely is an experienced out-of-body explorer, and he knows a ton of stuff, but the problem is with him, and that I don't like about him, is he's definitely in it for the money. I bought one of his books that came with a binaural beats CD a long time ago. It's a great book. It comes with basically a dream journal, an out-of-body diary filled with affirmations. Affirmations is another method to help you go out of body. It's basically repeating the same thing again and again and again, and you can use this for all sorts of things in your life, but one I will use when I am like doing something like work that is something laborious or boring, is I will just say, tonight when I go to sleep, I will go out of body and I will remember where I go. Tonight when I go to sleep, I will remember where I go. I will go out of body and I will remember. And just keep repeating it. You just keep repeating it. Whatever, you create your own. You can use others. People have created long ones, short ones. And then along with the binaural beats, you should definitely YouTube the binaural beats. Those are a great way too for learning to go out of body. You can even find some hypnosis ones. I don't think they work, but I think they help in the sense of just creating the consciousness, just creating the repetition. And I would like to go into next what our true form is, and this is how I know if somebody is legit out-of-body explorer, okay? Our true form is that of the orb. Okay, we are literally orbs, and you will know this if you go out of body enough times, you will eventually get to this state. You will have full 360-degree vision. That's how you know that we are not human. Okay, and I have also been in other states besides this. I've been in dough-like shapes, interfolding on myself, and these are all natural out of body, no drugs. No drugs needed at all. So this is our true form, and that's why I know the guys like Robert Monroe and William Buhlman, that's how I know they're legit. They talk about this is our state, this is our true state. And that's totally why I believe when you see orbs and spirits and people meditate and stuff, that's what our true form is. You know, and we have an infinite number of loved ones. You know, like, I mean, if you think about, we're infinite beings, and we are having this human experience, and that's part of the whole thing. And that's why I suggest you check out Robert Monroe stuff. He talks a lot about this energy systems and different energy systems. Also, you will find in these out-of-body states, you will find tons of crazy beings, amazing sceneries that are amazing, that are 10 times more beautiful than Earth, colors that you have never seen, at least not with your eyeballs. And I did a video series. If you go to my channel and you check my earliest videos, I did a video series called Infinite Being. And in it, I just go over some of the different beings that me and some other people have just seen. Because you really see some crazy things. I've seen the Greys, or what others might call the Watchers, so many times. They can shapeshift. They love to go invisible. And they're definitely the Watchers. I've seen all sorts of aliens and this is where I think that these occultists and the people that create a lot of the movies, this is where they probably get the ideas from these different levels of the astral plane. Whether or not they were going there purposely, or they just, you know, were in a dreamlike state. But I just suggest you go check it out. I don't want to go. I could go forever about. I mean, seriously, I've been doing this since I was 18. I could talk about all the beings I've met. If you go check out that video, though, you'll see where it's going. Oh, so another method that I highly suggest, and I'll just pull this up here, is a dream journal. And this will help you learn to remember your consciousness. Now, you can see, I'll read you this one. It's funny, I just pulled this open earlier, and this one's an awesome out-of-body experience I had. And it was on 7/11. I'm guessing it was 2 years ago, because this is an older one. I didn't put the date, but I could check it. And it's just funny because I just did another video on 7/11, literally like 2 videos ago. But when you do a dream journal, what I like to do, because I'm experienced, so I know, is I'll write the difference from out of bodies to dreams. See, dream, out of body. That was a crazy one. I saw some crazy dudes flying in outer space. This is some scribbling. Lucid dream. So lucid dreaming, this is what I consider the 3 stages, okay? There's dreaming, there's lucid dreaming, and then there's out-of-body experience. Lucid dreaming is like a stepping stone. It's like your consciousness is like halfway there, but you're not really fully conscious there. When you're fully conscious there, you will have as much consciousness as you do in this reality. It will be exactly as real as this reality, but you can have crazier experiences. You can go through walls. Flying is an awesome thing to do. Your vibrational rate increases so high when you go out of body that it can be super intense. So one method I recommend after you start lucid dreaming and going out of body, especially if you're lucid dreaming a lot, is I highly suggest you fly. Fly as high as you can in the air until you can't reach, or try to even fly to another energy system. Pick a star or energy system and fly towards it. And literally, if you can make it there, you'll enter a whole awesome world. And I've had tons of awesome experiences going to other energy systems. But in most cases, you'll find you can't break out. And you'll find you fall. And the falling is exactly the same feeling as falling in real life. You get that gut feeling, that wrenching feeling, the extreme feeling. And so what I like to do for practice, and I don't really need to do it much anymore because but I did it for a few years, is I'll purposely fly as high as I can, and then I'll fall, or I'll purposely shoot down and try to plunge into the earth. And sometimes you can plunge into lower dimensions or other dimensions. Other times I've plunged maybe 10, 20 feet into the dirt or into the ground and been stuck and had to either wiggle my way out or end the out-of-body experience. So these are just some methods that I suggest, because honestly, the vibrational rate and frequency of going out of body is so intense. And that's why when you do what's called a self-initiation, like if I just went and laid down right now and went out of body, just straight, if I just went down and did that, that's called a self-initiated out of body. You're not taking the stage of going out of body straight from your dream state. So let me just read you this out of body, because it was It's a good one, and it's pretty awesome. So basically, I started flying hyperspeed trying to get to another planet or energy system. Basically, I shot out, I went into another energy system. I was flying into it. I'm just telling you because I remember it better detail. This is just, if I wrote it in super fine detail, each one of my out of bodies would be like 10 pages long, or 5 pages long. So I remember it. I remember it very clearly. I came into this weird dome, and it was straight like shiny glass, and it was dome, and I could see it was like next or center of this city, and I went into it, and all of a sudden I called this out of body Krypton, because you'll see why in a second. I noticed that all these people are walking around they're almost like businessmen, and they're like almost half of them were wearing capes, almost like Supermen, like it was the fashion or the style. So I started talking to a lady, and this is another thing I recommend when you go out of body, because I've been to places multiple times. I've been to places and people will remember me, and I don't remember them, or beings. And you will see some awesome beings too. Not everything is human. But this was a human dimension or human world. So I started talking to a lady, and she tells me her race inhabits several worlds. She then introduces me to her friend called, and these names, like I said, when you're speaking telepathically to them, so the language barrier is different. And what I got was a Reese or something like that. And her name is Lizoshin or Liziation. Like it was, it's like one of these. It's like when you hear somebody's name in another language, you're like, how do you say that? Like Lizoshin. Lizoshin looks a lot like Posh Spice. If you remember Posh Spice from the Spice Girls. And she's wearing a Superwoman costume, or looked like a Superwoman costume, not literally a Superwoman symbol. But that's how she looked, and that's how they all looked. So I went with them, and they offered me some lunch, right? And this is another thing, use your senses. It was warm and tasted kind of like mashed potatoes and gravy. It was like almost like a porridge, like mashed. It was like if mashed potatoes and gravy were stirred really good, and it was really bland, though. It didn't have a salty or sweet taste. Oh yeah, it was greenish brown, and it looks kind of soupy, yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. I remember this, but I wrote it down. I told them that I was out of body, and they took some pictures of me on what they had, almost like camera phones. They were different than our camera phones, definitely, but they had something similar in their technology. Then I went up to their apartment, and I was talking to them, and then I could feel I was getting pulled back to my body. For whatever reason, I was getting pulled back, right? So I said goodbye, and they yelled goodbye to me, and we were like, goodbye, and I was literally getting pulled backwards, right? But this is where you get the dream within a dream, or out of body within an out of body, because our consciousness exists on multiple states. And that's another thing, a side effect of going out of body, is you will have multi-location consciousness. Like, you can have consciousness outside of your body and in your body simultaneously at multiple locations at once. So this is what happened, is continued, right? Then I woke up, or I came to, and I was in front of this weird computer screen, or this is all I could see. And it was crazy, like I'm talking like millions or thousands of these green glowing lines like a matrix. Oh shit. Alright. And it and then moving green lines, and the screen or whatever tells me I am going to be accelerating my development, and that they control this world, and it is a matrix. Who are they? I don't know, but it has connection to a giant supercomputer. And I remember I was upgraded, and I was literally sitting there into the. I was basically, it was the screen of this green, or in this matrix of the green interconnecting, but. So that's just what I wanted to I'll just share one there. I have tons of them in here. Tons of crazy ones. And like I said, this is what you do, is draw little sketches. I'm not a good drawer. I'm not a good writer. Look at my hand language. But that's just me. So before I want to get this video under 20 minutes, I'm just going to continue. I'll probably do another one. And if you have any questions or comments, I will put some links below. But it's really something that's your exploration. This is for you. Only you can do this. This is true knowledge. Everything else is belief. Everything else is secondhand. So even me telling you this is secondhand, you have to experience it for yourself. And you will feel that you're conscious, it is realer than this world. Now, the other method of going out of body, and I think this is a great tool, are entheogens, right? The magic mushroom's a classic one. And I should do a video on my experiences with entheogens. But you will find that they are only a tool. They only take you so far. I no longer can take mushrooms. The last couple times I took them, they told me there's nothing more they can teach me. And basically, I know I can do this all naturally out of body, and I can go to higher, way better states than these can give you. And these are like a tool. They take you on a ride, right? You don't, and I've done the Amanita muscaria. That is probably my favorite type of boomer to take. Another one is peyote, or not muscaline. I can't think how to say it right now. But the chemical that's in it. Done those before. And ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is highly the best entheogen I suggest anybody takes. And if you're into this or into anything, go check out my video on my first ayahuasca trip. Is by far my best entheogenic experience ever. And I transform into a 20-foot dragon. But you could tell I pretty much tell the whole story there. So go check out that vid if you're interested. Just to give you a little bit more information about me. This is from thesecretlanguage.com, and this is really from the secret language of birthdays, or the big birthday book, they call it. And you can find this in libraries. It's an awesome book. It is the best astrology book you will ever find, ever. I used to rent it from my library again and again, and I brought it to work. When I worked at a restaurant, I'd pass it around to like my favorite customers and to like all my coworkers. And I literally had people crying. Like, it wasn't me, it was the book. It was so exact. It's so perfect. But this is me, right? I'm November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. When I saw that movie in theaters, dude, I was like shell-shocked. I was like, what the fuck? But you know what? They name birthdays all the time. Not saying anything. I'm not a messiah. I know why I came to this world this time. I remember I incarnated only to help wake people up. And even just reading this, you will read... November 5th people, if you go down here, often wish to debunk myths and expose lies and half-truths of what they are. In doing so, they're courageous, perhaps rebellious. And this is the most accurate description of how I've been my whole life. I love to rock the boat. If you look at the birthday book, I mean... knowledgeable, up-to-date, realistic. I'm definitely difficult. People know this. I love to argue. That's not a problem with me, especially if I know I'm right. And I love to be a devil's advocate if it's something that can't be cited on. But yeah, it's really about me. I highly suggest you go check out thesecretlanguage.com. Go find your own. You might get blown away. And you know what? It might not fit you. I don't know. But I definitely highly recommend you check it out. And this isn't proofing anything. I'm just showing you a little bit about me. And with that, I'm going to end you with one of the best comedians ever. I don't think he's Alex Jones, but you know what? I don't know. Maybe he is. If he was, this was the most important message that he ever relayed, and it is the most important message. It will make the sycophants will fall, the system would fall, people would not support the system it does now. But
the world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud. And it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real?
You'll start remembering your past lives.
And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride. And we kill those people. Shut him up.
I'm not going to play the rest. If you haven't heard that joke, it's awesome. Every time I hear it, it makes me smile. I probably cried to it before because it's so beautiful. And that's the thing. That is the most important thing. You know, love, this is an experience. When you get up to the higher dimensions, you will get to the source. You will remember your past lives. They just come as a side effect. Robert Monroe talks about seeing himself from the higher point, or being in his higher self, and he said it was like, if you could draw it as a diagram, it was like I guess an orb with thousands of pegs around it, right? And that's from this energy system, this experience in this energy system, and each one of those little pegs is like it's each individual life. It's just a little aspect of your higher self, each one of our experiences. So with that, aloha. I hope you go out of body. I hope you fly. I hope you learn to fly. Just look into it. Only you're the one that can control it. Only you. Just like you're the only one that control how your mood is and if you're happy or sad. Alright, peace out.